So yeah, thanks Adrian for this wonderful welcome. Thank you everybody for coming. My name is Raphael. I'm the co-founder of Peak Product, which is the company behind the festival. And like Adrian said, we've done this now for over 10 years. And I've seen all the slides. I've really immersed myself in the content. I thought I'd give a bit of a opening thoughts on how I see, us, right? And with us, I mean really the PM community. I've been a PM at Google for about 14 years. I left 2 years ago. I'm now doing product consulting advisory and this conference full time. This is my passion. And this year feels a little bit different. And I feel, I don't know how you feel, but for example, I'm giving you a few examples. We heard companies saying this year, we love the conference, but we're just going to send 2 instead of 3 people, right? Or I'm sure some of you thought hard about, budgets and all of that. So this is something new, right? I experienced this conference. We were always growing. This PM is growing, obviously, right? That's why we're here. But I'm just saying there's an element of cool down in the market, and I wanted to reflect a little bit on that. And before I do that, actually one interesting fact: we're still growing, right? So we have more people this year here than we were last year, right? So I think this. So in a sense, I'm optimistic. Don't get me wrong. But there's also something changing, right? And I wouldn't call this a crisis, but I would say it's a cooling in the market. And I think for us as PMs, and I think we pride ourselves to be leaders and to be thinking, really about the resources of the companies and the strategies. It might mean a few things. And I want to offer just a few, opening thoughts of what I'm seeing. So my first point is beyond product. And what I mean by that is that we're all function leaders, right? We know product in and out. We know how to measure. We know the KPIs. I think by and large, we know how to run product, right? But the companies we work in, the context, the ecosystem, our colleagues, the executives often are under immense pressure in these days, right? So my call to action, or the point I'm making here is, I think it's also on us to bridge that, right? To be good and healthy bridges in the companies to the other functions and be allies to the executives. And, and maybe a crisp way to say it is, product's a lot about users. But maybe in times like this, it's also about the company, right? And, linking value of users with value to the company, right? And be thoughtful about this and the company and the mission. The second point I want to make is focus on what moves the needle, right? And that's almost a trivial statement, right? But from my experience as, again, being a PM now for almost 20 years, you can only really do that. And strategy is, as you know, is a lot about saying no, is if you know what moves the needle, right? And it's easy to say, okay, we focus on A or we focus on B, but I think there's a lot of homework to be done to really know that you should do A and not B and not C. And actually, what about E, right? So there's a lot of work we can do as PMs to research the field and make a strong thesis for our companies, right? And then make the companies operate based on what makes most sense and what are the promising areas, right? And I invest in a lot of startups these days. I see a lot of, struggle now, and it's a lot about focus on what drives value for the companies. And I think it's on us. Everybody else will have opinions. We should have opinions, but we also should have data and facts, to ground that. And the third one I'm going to make is one about AI. And this is a theme you're going to see throughout the conference. And I'm sure you thought about this, but I really want to amplify the point. And we're going to have a keynote about AI actually just after this. If you're not, and I'm making a strong claim here, if you're not thinking about AI as an existential value driver in your product and in your job, if you're not doing this right now, I think chances are somebody else is doing it and it's going to disrupt you in a year or two or even earlier. I think many of you know that from what I'm hearing in the market. Not everybody's acting on it. Not every company is understanding that. Some maybe are ignorant or are not investing. I think this is the area to do, again, homework, invest and have your strategy ready. And we're going to hear a lot about this at the conference. Let me end on a positive note and bring this together. We're having a lot of conversation as Peak Product, as sort of the mother company of the conference, with companies, with experts like you, and we're matching companies and roles, and we're driving this craft in Europe and beyond. And one trend I can say without a doubt is that more and more people like you, people like us are asked to step up in the companies, are leading. We have Egon Zehnder, one of the partners, and they consistently tell us product leaders are asked to run companies now, right? Every leader in the company now is asked about, what is their product experience, product strategy. So even if now we're reflecting maybe on us and our work and maybe on the focus areas, the underlying trend is super strong. And I've never been more excited about this. And again, the fact that we're growing, that we're bigger than last year in a somewhat challenging environment shows me you're all investing into the craft, into your experience, and into advancing the craft of product in Europe. And that makes me very happy and very proud. Cool. With that, I would love to say a few things. I said most of it already. 10 years going strong, 700 plus attendees, more than last year. A lot of countries. That's always something that makes me very proud. This is far from a Swiss conference, right? This is a pan-European and even beyond conference. We have people from lots of countries, and many, many people in the community, and many of you are subscribed to the newsletters and LinkedIn group and many more, and you will see that.